Uh, um, I am hoping this session is going to be very, very wonderful. You're going to learn. And most of all, and the best part about it is that we are going to be changed. We are not going to be the same people that came in here at 1400 hours, the 19th day of September. Ladies and gentlemen, there's one person in my screen. He's called Cleophas. He is central of my screen. Cleophas, I'd wish for you to say hi on behalf of the team. Then you can pass it on to just nominate a person at random. Then the person who has been nominated, we nominate 2 more people to say hi, and then we just begin. Cleophas, over to you.
Hi, good afternoon, team. My name is Cleophas Maloba. I'm into real estate and I'm also a data enthusiast. I like playing with the data, that's analytics and other stuffs. So I'm hoping to learn more in this webinar. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Cleophas. Just to remind you that you are supposed to nominate another person.
Okay, to nominate another person, I don't know how I'm going to take this, but I'll use the ones that have profile picture. So I'll nominate Mwendwa Maureen.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Maureen Mwendwa. I am also a data enthusiast, and I'm very happy to have joined the session today. I'm really looking forward to not be the same person. I just like Ken said, 1400 hours. The same person that I was will not be the same person that I will be in the coming few minutes. So I nominate Irene to introduce herself.
Irene, are you in?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Afternoon to you.
I'm grateful for this opportunity. Have a data analytics difference in this session.
Irene, have you nominated someone else?
I'm supposed to nominate someone else. Sam.
Okay, is Sam in? Sam, I think you've been given the floor. Okay. If Sam is not in, let me just do in that same alphabetical grouping. Now, Sam, next to you, I think someone's left, maybe. Next to Sam was Robert. Robert, you can take it up on behalf of Sam, and then we'll close the, how do you call it? We'll close the introductory part with you, Robert. Robert is also not in. Okay. I don't have Vincent. Okay. The gents, you have decided today we were taking a sabbatical leave, but it's okay. Victor, if you're around, can you say hi? Victor Chap.
Hello,
Hi,
good
Victor.
afternoon, everyone.
Afternoon to you.
Glad to be in this meeting today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Victor. Okay. Now at this juncture, I want us now to go to a very brief introductory bit of the company. And before we do that, amongst the speakers that spoke here, I remember Maureen. Maureen, she's saying she's a data enthusiast, and it's quite true. She won the last year's datathon competition, and currently, courtesy of that, she got some scholarship to study with predictive analytics, which we're really grateful for. And Maureen, thank you for staying with us. And in the next competition, hopefully, you'll still retain the title. Challenge to us boys and the men in the group. Now, thank you so much. I'd like to invite Susan to give us a little bit about the company, about who Predictive Analytics Lab is, what you do, and why we exist in this world, what type of solutions we offer, and what problems we are trying to solve. Yes, Susan? Okay, Eric Mao, okay. Is Susan in? Hi, Tina, is Susan in? Okay. If Susan is not in, guys, now allow me give you a brief on who Predictive Analytics Lab is. Now, Predictive Analytics Lab in itself is registered in Kenya as Triplex Data Hub, a leading big data. Sorry, Tina.
Oh, you can just continue. I had dropped off, but you can just continue.
It's okay. Now, as I was saying, Predictive Analytics Lab is registered in Kenya as Triplex Data Hub, a leading big data and analytics firm. We were founded in Kenya in the year 2017. In 2020, we expanded our wings to cover the United Kingdom as Predictive Analytics Global. Then in the year 2023, we also expanded another wing of ours in Tanzania as Predictive Analytics Lab Limited. Now, this expansion is always driven by the increasing demand for our data-driven business solutions. We operate under three spheres, our three core areas of expertise. Number one being the training. We are an NITA certified training center. And under the training, we have three categories of training. Number one, we have the technical verticals, which covers the essential technical skills for data science. That includes data science, business intelligence, coding for kids and preteens. We have data engineering, cybersecurity, data protection, and geographical information systems. Then we also have the industry vertical that provides industry-specific training for sectors such as telecom analytics, banking analytics, insurance analytics, sales analytics, etc. We also have what we call professional vertical. This one now covers courses to enhance professional functions. For example, we have human resources, marketing, and supply chain analytics. The other second bit of our core primary stream is machine learning and software development, where we specialize in creating advanced software solutions using AI and machine learning. That includes predictive modeling systems and business intelligence systems, the recommendation systems and fraud detection systems, amongst many others. Our third arm is what we also handle data strategy and consulting, where we enhance business operations through data-driven strategies. A Predictive Analytics Lab in itself also has other two subsidiary companies. Number one, in Kenya, we have a Predictive Analytics Lab Training Institute, which is a technical vocational education and training institute offering certificates and diploma courses in data science. And then we also have Savannah Limited, which is a leading provider of marketing tech solutions, formed through a partnership between Predictive Analytics Lab, Datalytics, and Saracen. That is in a nutshell what we do. Also, we have developed partnerships with other industry leaders across the globe. For example, we have Kifia Financial Technologies in Ethiopia. We have the College of Chartered Accountants in South Africa. We have the Saracen Media in Kenya, Saladin Media in Uganda, Media Reach in Ghana. We have the Dairies Technologies in Nigeria. We have the CHRM in Kenya, CIO Africa in Kenya. Other professional associations that we have worked with, we have the Association of Kenya Insurance, Kenya Association of Manufacturers. We have the MSK, the Marketing Society of Kenya, and ISPAC as a body. That basically gives us a summarization of what who Predictive Analytics is, what we do, our core mandate, and the solutions that we offer in the market. That being said, I want to very much quickly bring us now back to the core business of today's session. And today we are talking about Excel from basics to the advanced stages. They always say, one person was once asked that why is it that sometimes Excel won't let you save your file? Then it was given this answer that it's not being stubborn. It just wants you to make sure you fully embrace your mistakes before you let it go. And that's all about why Excel sometimes is the way it is. And allow me now take this very noble opportunity, because I myself am not an expert in the field, but I want to give this to a very senior person in the industry. He is currently the head of business transformation and analytics at Sanlam Kenya, having been the lead business analyst at the same company. He was also the pricing and analytics supervisor at Resolution Insurance Kenya. Also was the actuarial pricing analyst for medical insurance at Resolution Insurance still. And in a nutshell, he's called Mr. Timothy Kering. I hope I pronounced that correctly. He is an accomplished and extremely motivated actuary, data analysis, medical insurance professional with strong quantitative and qualitative research and statistical analysis skills, combined with exceptional academic and hands-on experience. He has gained valuable knowledge on insurance products, data entry, reporting, and office experience while working within the insurance sector and supporting key administrative teams while working within the same industry. He has strong insurance and risk management skills. He has been a professional with over 5 years experience in health insurance pricing, data analysis, and medical insurance products customization with a vast knowledge in price model building, advanced Excel analytical skills coupled with experience in R software for data analysis and manipulation. In his current role, he has assisted in model building for adequate pricing of medical covers, new product designs and pricing, and overall revamp of existing products. That is the man you're going to get to hear from today. In his title, he has FLMI CLSSBB AIIK. I'd like for him to also explain to us what that is, but Mr. Kering, this is your time. I really want to now invite you over to now take this special opportunity for you to dispense to us knowledge. Let us now drink from your fountains. I'm hoping we're going to learn a lot from you. Thank you and welcome, Mr. Timothy.
All right, thank you so much, Ken. Am I audible enough?
Yes, you are.
All right, thank you so much. You've given me a lot of titles. I will not talk about that one. That one is not the critical thing that we are doing here. But let me just turn on my video so that guys can get to know me. I don't know whether this one. Yeah, you're able to see me? Yes, so my name is Timothy, and as explained by Ken, I have been in the industry for a while, especially on the analytics front, and especially focusing on insurance. And today we just thought of having a session with you guys just to discuss how important Excel is in your career. So just to explain to you, Sam, Ken and team, the FLMI credential on my name is a fellow, Life Management Institute, USA. And then the other one is certified black belt in processes. And then I'm also a certified data analyst as well. So I think that is it. So without much, I think we'll just begin the session. And I'm happy to say that I was the first cohort actually to be trained by predictive analytics. The very first time they were starting their trainings. I was among the first cohort, the very first cohorts, and I'm happy to be back home now as a professional in the field. All right, so we'll just begin because we don't have much time. So let me just share. I have a few slides that we want to discuss. Today, we will not delve into the practical sessions and so on and so forth. That one will be done when you register for the course and so on and so forth. But today, I'm going to provide you a guide on how you're going to rate yourself on your ability to use Excel. Are you a beginner? Are you an intermediate user, or you are an advanced user or an expert? So we're going to gauge ourselves using several areas that I've highlighted that are very critical in every stage that you learn. We are going to also learn how you can train yourself, the options that you have to train yourself in Excel. And we're going to learn also the importance of the Excel and the features, the very new features and so on and so forth that I've given in the summary. So allow me to turn off my camera now. Then we can go into the discussion session. Once you see my screen, please let me know. Yeah. Ken, you're able to see it? Ken, is my screen visible? Okay.
Yes, it is. The screen is okay.
All right. Thank you so much. So this is the summary. So we're going to discuss an overview of Excel, just a few history about Excel. We get to understand where it came from and so on and so forth and where it is currently. We're going to look at the Excel analytics process, the type of analytics that you can do in Excel. We're going to look at the basics of Excel as well. We look at intermediate Excel, we look at advanced level Excel. We're going to look at what's new in Excel as well, because Excel keeps on improving every day. There are a lot of developments being done by Microsoft every day. We're going to learn also to discuss about learning options that you have to train yourself to become an expert in Excel. And then we shall have question and answer session. So an introduction, just a brief overview of the evolution of Excel over the years. Excel was launched first in 1985, which was used by Apple Macintosh. Okay, by Apple Macintosh in 1985. And in 1987, it was released for Windows, okay, featuring some graphics and so on and so forth, and some nice user interfaces. In 1993, that is when VBA was introduced in Excel. Just a minute, okay. 1993, VBA was introduced, and in 2007 there was introduction of ribbon interface, replacing the traditional menus that were there. If you look at the original version, for those who have the 1997 version of Excel, you will realize that it was very inefficient. You can go and try installing that one and check. how it looks like. It was very inefficient. And in 2020, pivot tables and slicers were introduced, and that is where now dashboarding now started happening in Excel. And in 2016, there was a real-time authoring through cloud. That is when the 365 cloud Excel was introduced in 2016. That's why you hear people saying, I need a 2016 version of Excel, because it is the super improved version of Excel that incorporate the cloud. It's cloud-based, and it's so interactive and has many features. In 2024, that is when AI now came into this year, when they introduced several AI tools into we will talk about those AI tools shortly. It was introduced in 2024. And who knows what will happen in 2025 and the future. So the future of Excel will be quite big, because we have the other version, that is the Power BI, that is an advanced version of Excel, super advanced version of Excel that tries to solve the limitations of Excel. They normally say, people normally say that Power BI ni Excel yenye imeomoka. So that's what they normally say. It's actually Excel, but it now does handles more data, processing speeds are faster than Excel, and so on and so forth. But it is actually the core building structure of Power BI is actually Excel. So some highlights there: 1.5 billion users currently, approximately 1.5 billion users of Excel currently in the world. 81% of which, of businesses actually use Excel, and 66% of people every hour, professionals. Even you yourself, if you are a professional here and you never open Excel, you will find that you have Excel sheets. Even if you are using Python, even if you are using whatever R, even if you're using Power BI and whatever, you will find yourself having opened several Excel sheets. And if you're not opening it, then I don't know how you manage your BAU activities and quick analytics that are required, especially the ad hoc analytics that are not real time. Yeah, so that is the basic introduction of the evolution of Excel to date. And they normally say Excel is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. It keeps on improving, because there was a time people thought that Power BI now has come, now Excel is dead. No, Excel is now has gained a lot of popularity, and that is why you must learn Excel if you have to be a good data analyst. Right. So some of the processes, I'll just highlight some of the processes that you can handle in Excel. This is just a summary. I've just picked some few examples, but there is a very wide pool of information about Excel that you can learn. So data collection begins always there. You can actually collect data using Excel by creating tools and templates for collecting of data. And even you can collect data manually. You can connect to databases. You can connect to SQL, Power Queries, and so on and so forth. And then you're able to transform the data. So that's how you can collect the data. You can actually connect Excel to systems directly. That is, if you are given rights by your company, you can connect Excel directly to a system, and it pulls data from there in various formats that you like, CSV and so on and so forth. You can actually connect, and then you're able to transform in Power Query and so on and so forth, data collection. Data cleaning, there is a lot of functions. Every day, functions are being added by of course, monthly, there is something that is released about the functions in Excel that aids in data cleaning. So you can, if there is a tool that you can never get stuck in cleaning data, it's actually Excel, because it has got a lot of features that you need to understand. Even data transformation, changing data into shapes that you want, merging multiple data sets, the VLOOKUP, the index match, we'll talk about those ones. We're going to talk about all those issues, all those functions later in the session. Functions like substitute, trim, it's a lot. There is a lot of functions in Excel that you can use to transform and even manipulate data sets and clean it. Yeah, data analysis, actually, this is the point where you calculate the aggregations and so on and so forth. Yeah, you do descriptive statistics. I know for those people who have been in the industry or you've done analytics before, you understand the levels of analytics, that is descriptive, the diagnostic, and so on and so forth, up to predictive analytics as the highest level. That one can also be done in Excel. So you can do very nice descriptive statistics using like Excel. And there is something called an analysis toolpack that is so nice. It's an add-in in Excel that can do a lot of regression, predictive modeling. Yeah, it can draw very nice graphs. It can do the ANOVA for those who have done statistics, the analysis of variance, which are very important in making decisions and coming up with conclusions in analytics. And visualizations, I can't emphasize enough that one. We've got a lot, especially on the 365 version of Excel. We have a lot of visualizations that are available. A lot of charts are there, varied, all of them, ranging from pie charts all the way to lollipop charts. They are there. All of them are there in Excel, especially in the 365 version. And then the add-ins as well, you can add more because Microsoft thought it best that, okay, we can't keep on creating charts for people. Let's have an add-in where somebody can add what they want. Yeah, so you can go there. Some are for sale, some are free, but most of them are actually free, but some are for sale, especially the visualizations. Any visualization you want, it's there. Either it's in the pre-built version or it's in the add-ins that you can add for yourself, so on. And then reporting, that is the end of every analytical work. Yeah, Excel does some very nice reporting depending on how you did it, especially how you started with data collection all the way to cleaning. It does a very nice reporting using the advanced features of pivot tables and dashboards. Actually, it can do very nice dashboards. Excel can do very, very nice dashboards. The only limitation there is when you have too voluminous data. That is where now there will be some challenges with Excel, and you will have to connect with other tools like Python for faster processing of data, Power BI, and so on and so forth. That is where the limitation comes in, and I hope one day they can solve that one. But there are ways as well that you can apply, yeah, to manage huge data sets in Excel, especially changing the formats to make it light and so on and so forth. Formats like CSV, yeah, formats like XLSB makes your data sets smaller and smaller so that it can be easily processed. Yeah, so that is what you can do. This is just a summary. You can do a lot of things in Excel. And if you get onboarded into the training, the comprehensive training, that's where you will handle this. Right. So I said initially that we are going to discuss the levels that we need to learn in Excel. We need to begin from the basics. You can never become a master if you don't master the basics properly. Master the basics, even if it is the smallest basic. I would say always take more time at the basic level. Don't jump all over the place. Take time at the basic level, because that one will be the building block of what you become as a master. because if you jump and skip the process, you will end up coming back again to the basics to understand how this is done so that you can link with something that is at an advanced level. So it becomes so inefficient for you, and it's very frustrating. So take your time to master the basics. So what are these basics? Yeah, you should be able, at the basic level, you should be able to navigate Excel interface entirely and be sure that you understand every element that is at the interface. Those elements that are listed, when you open Excel, there is a lot of things there. So you need to understand what each and every element there means. If you don't understand it, then you will have challenges using the functionalities. You need to know the basic data entry. Yeah, how do you enter cells in Excel? How do you make sure that the data you are entering in the Excel sheets are properly validated and they are accurate, and so on and so forth? How do you restrict cells and so on and so forth? You need to understand that, and you need to know basic formatting, because every company has got their own colors and so on and so forth. But you might want to design a certain report in a particular way. If you don't know how to use these techniques of changing fonts, the colors, and so on and so forth, you are also as well going to struggle. So you need to master that one. Second item you need to master are the basic formulas. Yeah, you need to be, I can't even talk about this one because really you need to understand how to add, subtract, multiply, the basic operations, mathematical operations. Those ones you must understand. Those ones, they are very simple. And then common functions. You need to understand all the common functions, especially for descriptive statistics, the sum, the average, the minimum, the count, the maximum, the ceiling, and the flow. You need to understand all those ones, the very basic ones. The counter, yeah, the count and the counter. You need to understand the difference between count and counter. Those ones, those basic functions, you must understand at basic level. You also need to understand the logical functions, the if functions, yeah, basic if, the and the or, and the nested if functions. You need to understand them properly, how you use them, yeah, the basic if and the nested if, and then the and the or, and then you need to master how you can do combination of functions. Yeah, I normally see many people understanding one function very well, but now they don't know how to combine an if function and an and function. They don't know how to combine a nested if function, an and function, and an or function, all combined together to give you a very powerful feature. Yeah. So you need to understand how you can mix, because these Excel functions are many, but you can nest them all the way to become very useful and very powerful. Number 3, data management. You need to understand how you manage your data, the sorting and the filtering at least basic level, because there is a lot of very advanced sorting and filtering features in Excel. So you need to understand data validation features. I talked about it at when I was talking about the Excel basics. Data validations. You need to know how to set integrity rules for your data. Like, for example, if I want people who are entering data to an Excel sheet to only enter data, like, for example, I know an ID, yeah, the Kenyan ID, ID number has specific number of characters, yeah. How do I restrict that? If somebody inputs less characters or more characters or more numbers like that, it's going to reject that entry. Such kind of things. If somebody inputs, you've put a date field, but somebody is putting a date that is not in the format that you wanted, how do you check those integrity rules? So you need to understand. So for that, you need to learn data validation rules, yeah. And then, of course, removing duplicates. First of all, you need to know how to identify what's a duplicate in Excel. And then you need to know how you remove them. Yeah. So those are the very at basic level, you must be able to understand manage your data. Okay. The fourth one is, of course, you need to understand the data analysis tools. Yeah. You've cleaned your data, you've shaped your data, you need now to understand what tool can I use to analyze data quickly in Excel. Pivot table is a very good one. And there is a basic pivot table, and then there is advanced pivot table. This one helps you very much in analyzing your data quickly, especially when you, like, for example, you are in a meeting and somebody, maybe the audience are asking you, we need to see, maybe you have done counts or something. We need to see the sum instead of the count. So you can manipulate quickly using pivot tables. And of course, charts and graphs. And then the other thing I want to emphasize is conditional formatting. This one is very important. Yeah. This one is very important because it helps you if you want to, like, for example, you are talking about percentages. You want to say 100% is green and maybe less than 50% is red. How do you set those conditions? Yeah, for performance. Like if it's at 100%, it defaults the color to red. If it's at below 50%, it automatically defaults the color to red. And other RAG indicators that you'd want to put. Conditional formatting will help you do that, and many more. Yeah. Importing, number 5, data importing and exporting. Yeah. You must know how to bring data to Excel from various sources, even from the web. You can bring data to Excel from the web, from PDF files, from Word documents. You can bring data to Excel using Word document, from databases and other CSV files, formats, for example. So you need to understand how to import. And again, if you are importing data into a tool, you must also know how to export it out. So that one, you need to understand how to save data in various formats. There are so many formats that you can save data in Excel, be it in Word. You can save in Word, you can save in PDF, XLSB, CSV, XTML, I don't know, something. There are so many that you can save. So you need to understand each. And then you need to understand the number 6, you need to understand basic data cleaning. Yeah. If you can't clean your data, like for example, remove excess characters, remove spaces, remove unprintable formats. Normally you use clean or something, some function up there. You need to understand this function. I've mentioned a few: the concatenate, the trim, the mid, there's the right, left, and so on and so forth. The clean function, and so on and so forth, that are used to quickly clean data. So you need to learn those ones. This list is not exhaustive, by the way. So I've just given a few elements. The other important thing about data cleaning is mastering dates formats. You need to master date formats in Excel. Otherwise, if you are doing analysis that are based on dates, you're going to mess up completely. Yeah. You need to understand how to break a date into day, month, year. Yeah. Change the format to year, month, day, and so on and so forth. You need to understand how to do that. You need to understand how to grab a date only from a day, the day only from a date, month only from the date, and even time, timestamps from a date, and so on and so forth. That you should know how to break it into various components. So those are very, very basic, at very, very basic levels. You must understand these ones. If you don't understand these ones, you're going to struggle with data. You need to understand how to join two pieces of data. Like for example, join first name, second name, and third name. You need to know how to join it. You need to know how to break it again, joining and breaking it. Yeah. So you need to understand how you do that using these functions. If you don't understand those ones, you're going to struggle. And then lastly, of course, the end of any analytical work, you must do some statistical analysis so that you can make a decision. Yeah, basic descriptive statistics. You should know those ones, the mean, median, mode, standard deviation, variances, and then not only knowing how to do that, but also understanding what it means. Like, for example, if I get a variance of this, what does it mean? And so, and then lastly, visualization, of course. Once you've gotten the results, you've gotten your descriptive statistics, now you can do the trends, and then you can report. Right. So that is at very basic level. So based on that, gauge yourself. If there is a function or functionality here that you are not able to use, then you are not even at the basic level of Excel. All right. So intermediate level, we will talk about how you will learn these things later. So at intermediate level, this is where now the real thing happens in Excel. And mark you this, if you did not master the basics, you are going to struggle here, and you're going to struggle in the next slide as well. So you need to master the basics properly, then your work will be easier. So at intermediate level, I've just mentioned the key. Of course, there are others, but I've just mentioned the key items that you, functionalities and so on that you need to learn in Excel. So one is advanced formulas and functions. We talked about the basic ones, like the sum, I don't know what. Those are very, very basic level. Now we have this advanced one, the VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP standing for vertical lookup, where you are looking up a piece of data. You have two pieces of data. You have table A and table B. So you have a unique ID in table A. So you want to search it in table B. So the vertical lookup helps you. Then because there is a vertical lookup, of course, there is an horizontal lookup. Yeah. When you are looking you're looking up for data in a table that is horizontal. Yeah. But now, thank God, we've got something new that has come up in Excel that nullifies the first two, the VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. You don't need them anymore. XLOOKUP does wonders. It combines these two, and even the array formulas, the index and match. Okay, the index and match, those are intersection formulas, functions that you can use to intersect data completely, and then you just grab a particular piece of data from a huge data set. So if you understand how to use XLOOKUP, let me tell you, if you understand how to use XLOOKUP in an advanced way, yeah, we will talk about some things called wildcards, yeah, not just doing lookups the basic way, but doing lookups using wildcards as well, yeah. If you master XLOOKUP, you don't need index and match functions. You will not need VLOOKUP functions. You will not need HLOOKUP functions. That one has come to actually save us a lot in our analytical work. The other thing is the processing speed of XLOOKUP. Yeah, XLOOKUP processes data very quickly compared to VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP, you can do it, and then you see your machine counting some things down here, something I really don't like. When if it's a very powerful machine, you see some percentages counting down there. The reason is because it's trying to process data cell by cell. Yeah, so it's taking too long until your machine starts, the fun of your machine starts going on. Yeah, the text functions, you need to understand how to manipulate texts. Yeah, how to join a text, how to remove a text. We will talk about another feature that has come in Excel that's very new in Excel on how to grab texts, particular text. So you can do text analytics using these functions, the find, the substitute, and the text join. And remember, this one you can combine with a lot of other functions as well. You can combine these text functions with VLOOKUP, you can combine them with HLOOKUP, and you can combine them with XLOOKUP. The power that comes there is very enormous. It's so nice and very satisfying. Data analysis tools. You should understand the data analysis tools at a higher level now. One, you should be using pivot tables at an advanced stage completely. You should be able to group data, do calculated fields. These calculated fields are the same as the ones that are in Power BI. Okay, you should be able to do those ones. Yeah, use slicers and some interactive analysis using the slicers. For those people, you can go and try. Those who have ever created a dashboard, they know what a slicer is. It helps in filtering, quick filtering of pivot of data, especially in pivot tables. Yeah, pivot charts, you can get a chart directly from the pivot table. Yeah, this one you need it for dashboards, because those dashboards must refresh, okay, for it to pick. So you can't use static data here. It must be a pivot chart that comes from a pivot table so that it can auto refresh and update your data. Data analysis tool pack, I talked about it. It's an add-in that is so nice. Go and check. You can just go to your Excel and then check data analysis. What do add-ins? Yeah, check add-ins and then go check on data analysis toolpack and then install that one. And then just try to learn that. It's going to help you a lot in doing this descriptive statistics and some graphing there. Okay. You need to also understand very advanced visualization at this stage. Okay. Should be able to do the things like combo charts. Yeah. Combo charts are charts where you have different what we call variables you want to compare, yeah, in the same axis. Yeah, so that one will help you. Like, for example, you are comparing total sales and percentage performance. Yeah, so you want to compare it in one chart. So the combo chart does that one, the spark lines and the secondary axis. Conditional formatting, we talked about it. This one you should know now, not doing the basic conditional formatting that is inbuilt in Excel. Now you need to write formulas for conditional formatting at this level. If you can't write formulas for conditional formatting, then you are not yet at an advanced stage. And then at this stage, you should be able to do to design a dashboard end to end at this stage. If you've never designed a dashboard before, then you're not yet an intermediate user of Excel. Okay, data management as well, named ranges. If you've never used the named ranges, and named ranges, especially when you're doing lookups, multiple lookups, yeah. If you've never used that, the named ranges, begin using it. Yeah, it is going to save you a lot, and it is making your formulas less cumbersome and less scary. Yeah. And then tables, creating but managing tables, you should know how to manage the data tables in Excel. You should be able to convert raw data, raw Excel information into a nice Excel table that is presentable, and then it can automate the formulas for you instead of you dragging the formulas all the time and double clicking the formulas. Yeah, the tables will help you. When you input a formula in one cell, it does the same thing for all the other cells. So that's what we call the tables. And of course, data consolidation, combining multiple sheets of data. You should be able to combine multiple sheets and generate a report, yeah, from all the multiple sheets, while also making sure that your report, your template, Excel template, is not becoming heavy. There are several ways you can do that to reduce the volume of your data. That one, the details, we talk about it in class when you register for the course. Advanced data cleaning, yeah. There is something called Power Query that is so nice, yeah. Actually, Power Query is actually Power BI. The same Power Query that is found in Excel does the same thing as the one that is in Power BI. So what am I saying? There is no way you can be a pro in Power BI, a good user of Power BI, if you don't understand Excel. So I know most people normally want to skip Excel and then do Power BI. Make your life easier by learning Excel properly. Then you will be able to manipulate and really become a super user in Power BI, because you will be able to now merge and say, oh, okay, this one, I saw it in Excel. So it's also here in Power BI, and it's even more advanced than the one that I saw in Excel. So it makes data analytics very interesting. So you need to learn that. Splitting text and joining text, those advanced text functions, not the basic ones. You need to learn those ones. So the Power Query Editor is a whole course by its own, where you need to learn how to write the DAX function, the data analysis expressions properly in Power Query, and how to manipulate, change the shape of the data using Power Query, and automating data using Power Query, like pull a raw data, to pull it to Power Query, and then do transformation, and then communicate results, do analysis now and communicate results. So Power Query is very important here. So if you've never used Power Query, you're not yet an intermediate user, you're still a basic user. Data import and export, yeah, using Power Query again, and connections, yeah. If you've never connected data to some source, any source that's available, you might be having a whole bunch of PDF files that are saved somewhere, but you want to analyze all those PDF files. So you can use Power Query, you connect to it, it converts it into data, and then you transform your data using Power Query. So if you've never done this one, then you're still a basic user of Excel. The what if analysis, the scenario manager, I know for those people who are in finance, they normally use this one a lot, but it is very important for you, yeah, to learn this one, because it's a what if, like you were saying, what if my sales performance was 80% instead of 70%? What would it mean for the individual performance of my sales team? Yeah, they will have to achieve this and this, so that we are at 70. So something like that, it's just a goal seek. You're seeking something, but you don't have complete information, but you have partial information, but you want to use it to get another some other information. So that is what we call scenario, a scenario manager. So you need to learn how to use this one, yeah. And data tables, we talked about it as well. You need to understand that. And then lastly, at this stage, you need to understand what we call macros. You need to know how to record a macro. Like a macro is an automation of a data set. Like, for example, you receive some particular data in the same shape and format every time. It doesn't change. It's just the same. It never changes. And you do the same analysis on that data set all the time. You do the same cleaning in the same process, using the same process. You do the same analytics using the same process. All those ones, it never changes. So what you can do is to take your piece of raw data, record a macro, and then do the work. While you are doing, it's recording your steps, okay? It's recording what you are doing. Then you save it as a macro. It's called a macro-enabled worksheet. Once you save it as a macro-enabled worksheet, what it does later on, you will not need to repeat your process. The same process. What you'll just do is copy the data raw, but it has to be in the same format. If there is something that has changed, your recorded macro will not run. It has to be the same. Then you copy, paste it to that template, and then click run. When you run, it does it in 1 second. Whatever you've been doing, maybe in 2 hours or something, it does it in like 1 second. So at this stage, you should be knowing how to record a macro. And then you should know the basics of VBA. You should know the interface of Visual Basic. Visual Basic is the programming interface of Excel. You can actually write codes in Excel. So you should know the basics of that. At least you can write something, even to hide a sheet. An Excel VBA macro to hide a sheet, for example. Something basic, very basic, or even to manipulate a date or even to split a date, you should be able to write a few, and you should be knowing the syntax of writing a VBA code. At this stage, you don't need to know a lot. At this stage, you just need to appreciate that this exists so that you learn it now in the next phase. So this is what you need to learn among the things that you need to learn at this stage. So if there are things that you haven't learned here, then it means you haven't hit the intermediate level Excel. All right. So next, let's look at the advanced users of Excel. Okay. Here now, let me tell you, if you hack it at the intermediate level, the advanced level will be mostly a repetition of the intermediate level, but now there are new features that are being introduced. But it's the same features, but now it's going a notch higher to do something that you are not doing earlier. Okay, like for example, the major thing at an advanced level is actually the Visual Basic, the VBA coding. That is the real thing that differentiates the basic users, the intermediate users, from advanced users. So many a times I've been asking people just through discussions and maybe in interviews and so on and so forth. I ask someone, which level of Excel are you? And then they say they are super users of Excel. So I look at them and then I'm like, okay, wait, what makes you feel like you are a super user of Excel? What gave you that confidence? And then they're still talking about pivot tables. Yeah, a pivot table, somebody who is able to use pivot tables in Excel is not a super user of Excel. That is a basic user of Excel. Okay, so the thing is, you should be able, at an advanced stage, you should be able to demonstrate that you've done automation. Yeah, you've done automation using Excel. So at an advanced level, you need to learn advanced functionalities, like for example, the predictive modeling. Predictive modeling in Excel is actually statistics. Yeah, people normally give it a lot of names: big data analytics, I don't know, predictive analytics, and so on. Those are just jargons and names. Predictive analytics is statistics. And actually, data analytics is statistics. So if you're struggling with statistics, I can tell you for a fact, it's going to be very difficult for you to become a master in data analytics. So the earlier, the better. The earlier you learn statistics, the better for you in the future of the field of analytics. And that is why the guys with backgrounds in statistics ace it very easily in this. But that doesn't mean that if you've never been to a statistics class, you can't learn statistics. You can learn statistics. To learn everything in statistics, there are particular things that you need to learn in statistics, just to give you the preamble and the appreciation of what you need to do, and even interpreting the outcomes of your analysis. So it's very critical. So you need to learn how to forecast, to do trends. Yeah, in Excel, because Excel also is a very powerful tool. And again, the tool pack I showed you, the analysis tool pack I showed you, that one also does predictive analytics, and it does even up to regression modeling and so on and so forth. Yeah, so Excel does very good regressions as well, and even the interpretation of it. You need to understand those ones. Advanced formulas like sequence sort and so on, advanced filter options. Those array formulas, the array formulas are so many, especially in Microsoft Excel 365. I would encourage everyone who is listening to me today to use, if you're still using your desktop Excel, the desktop version of Excel, I want to encourage you to now change. Use the 365 version of Excel, the cloud-based version of Excel. So you need to shift now. Those ones that are installed on your machine may not help you, but if it is installed, it should be linked to the cloud so that you're able to get real-time updates of Excel features. Otherwise, you will remain traditional with your desktop Excel versions. Okay, data analysis tools, we talked about this one. The Power Pivot. Yeah, Power Pivot is actually in the Power Query. So the difference between the normal pivot table and the Power Pivot is that you're doing this at the Power Query. And what it does, this one is able to merge multiple sheets into one pivot table. Like if you have 10 sheets, you are able to merge all the 10 sheets or 50 or 100 or 1,000 sheets. You're able to merge all of them and have one single pivot table for all those pieces of data. That one you are not able to do with your basic pivot. So the Power Pivot, you need to learn it here so that you're able to do that. Then again, Solver for those guys who want to do linear programming and so on and so forth. It's an add-in as well. The Solver is an add-in. Yeah. Okay, data visualization, I can't emphasize enough. At this point, you should be able to integrate Power BI with Excel. Okay, should be able to integrate Power BI with Excel, and then you should be able to do interactive dashboards that are live, yeah, and can be used. Excel dashboards are very good when for a company that has smaller data sets, especially for startups and small companies that don't have huge data sets. So this one works very well for small companies. If you have small data, 1 million rows and below, for example, that one you can do a very nice dashboard. And even if it is more than 1 million rows, you convert it to CSV files or other formats that can, or to text and so on and so forth, that can accommodate the large piece of data. Okay, so at this level, you should be able to handle huge data sets, unlimited data sets in Excel. Without your Excel sheet freezing, should be able to handle it. We talked about data modeling, yeah, and data management, yeah. You should be able to handle huge data sets without your Excel screen freezing. Okay, so that is at an advanced level of visualizations. Okay, automation. At this time, you should be doing some advanced macros. Should be able to do VBA editing properly using the Visual Basic application that is inbuilt in Excel. Yeah, you should be able to add even connectors to it and so on and so forth at this level. Yeah, and you should be able to define your own functions. Remember, Excel has got limitations. Like you want a function that can do something in a particular way or in an easier way without you struggling, but it only has pre-built functions. Now they've allowed you to code. You can code your own function, and then you can call it in Excel. It will be working for your own Excel, in your own Excel environment. Yeah, you can call that one. So you can code, and then the other thing, you can use what we call Lambda. There's what we call Lambda functions. You define your own functions the way you want them to do. Call it any name. You can call it even your name and so on and so forth. So at this level, you should be able to do that. We talked about data management, but I want to emphasize on one thing that is very critical here, apart from the functions, the new function, the dsum, dcount, daverage, all those functions. You will go and learn those ones, go and research about those ones, and then you learn how to handle database functions. I want to emphasize on data security. At this point, data security becomes very critical as an advanced user. How do you protect your data? How do you implement protection across your data sets and so on and so forth? How do you protect it against from unauthorized access? and so on and so on. And how do you give partial rights for people to view what you have done? Now, at this point, that is where now you do the data security. It's very critical at this point, because database functions, those ones you can do it at the intermediate stage. External data connections, you can do it at intermediate, but data security is an advanced feature. Okay, the what if analysis, we talked about that one. So this one, now by this time, you should be able to do probability simulations. Yeah, I have just given an example of a Monte Carlo simulation in statistics. You should be able to do that, but it doesn't have to be the Monte Carlo only. There could be other simulations, probability simulations that you can do using the scenario analysis. And then advanced data cleaning techniques. Yeah, here you should be a pro in using VBA to clean your data. You are no longer reliant on the functions. Yeah, the functions that are built in. If a function has a problem and it's taking your time, and so I don't know, when it is impacting on the speed of your analytics, at this point, you should be able to code and do the VBA coding, and you should be very good with data profiling using the Power Query and understanding the quality of your data using the Power Query. Actually, the Power Query is so simple. It has a big name, but it's something very simple because it guides you on even what to do. It's so easy, and you're able to see what you are doing. The good thing with this one, you don't have to run anything. Just put a formula and then you see what it does there. Yeah, so it's quite nice to see. Okay, and then there is collaboration and sharing. At an advanced level, you should be knowing how to collaborate with others. How do you share your data real time? Yeah, how good are you with SharePoint? There is what we call the SharePoint. Yeah, the SharePoint links and so on and so forth. You should be able to do that. Like you can create Excel sheets that are super automated, and then you send the link to many users. So as they interact, they can interact, because one of the problem with Excel was that if one Excel sheet is opened by two people, if you've opened an Excel that is in a shared environment, yeah, that everybody can access, if you open it, nobody else can open it, because it will say someone else has opened it. So it will give you the read-only, I don't know, access or something. Then it asks you, to ask for permission from that person so that you can view it. So that was the challenge. So collaboration and sharing came in through the SharePoint Online, which is a cloud-based, so you can share real time. The only problem with that one is how now it boils back to data security, because if you don't put data security, those guys who are accessing it will be able to manipulate and change the data. So you need to be very good with data security even before you share your data. Yeah. Then the Power Automate. Power Automate is actually found in Excel. It's a very advanced feature where we've actually, where I work currently, we've used even Power Automate to create Excel, to create workflows, the workflow. Yeah. Power Automate is very nice. So if you learn that one, it's going to really help you. So at this level, you should be able to use the Power Automate to do a few workflows, because it's very easy, actually. Go and check Power Automate, check what you can do with Power Automate. What are the things that you can automate? You can even automate an approval process. Start with a simple document. Take a document, a Word document, and say, I want to create a simple workflow for approval of this document. So you create it and then you send it to an approver, because it is within Microsoft 365 environment. You just select, and then you select the person that you want to approve, that should approve that document. When you select, it will send an email. You will pre-build it to say, if I select a person, it sends an email to that person and tells the person that there is this X and Y document that has been sent to you for sign off. Please click here to sign off. So when the person clicks there, it signs off that either Excel or whatever. So that is an example of this one. And you can collaborate with others as well. If you have a problem with some functions, you can request someone to do it for you through the Power Automate, and the person does it, and you see it real time there. So those are the very advanced features. So if you've not been able to use any one of these, or if you've not, you should be able to do all of this for you to be an advanced. If you've never used any of this, you probably need to look at your skill level in terms of Excel, or you might want to rate yourself otherwise as an intermediate user or a basic user. So those are the 3 levels that are very, very critical. I can see our time is really, we still have like 15 minutes. So I'm almost done. So those are the 3 critical levels. So go gauge yourself based on these ones and judge yourself honestly and say, am I a basic user, an intermediate user, or I am an advanced user of Excel? Then it will guide you on where to start in your learning journey of Excel. But I want to tell you, do not skip a step. Just go slowly, you will be there. Okay, so I want to highlight some few latest features in Excel. Of course, this is not exhaustive. I've just picked what I feel are so nice that have just been released. So there is Copilot in Excel. If you've never heard of Copilot, but it has been all over the place, Copilot is actually a very powerful AI tool. It's just like ChatGPT. But this one is within the Microsoft environment. So this one is so nice because it can generate any formula for you, okay? But the paid version, the one that you've purchased, there is the basic version. You can integrate directly with Excel, the basic version. But if you pay, you purchase now, you will be able to integrate with your Excel. Yeah. So it will, when you are doing your analytics, it will be giving you ideas. Like when you want to type a lookup function, it gives you ideas on what you should do instead of you cramming the formula so fed and so on and so forth. It can even do analytics for you. You can upload an Excel file to Copilot. Yeah. And then it does what? It does the analytics. You can as well integrate even Python into Excel. Then you'll be coding Python within Excel. So those are the new features that are coming up. So there is a very good development in Excel that you should learn. And that means that it is very critical that you learn Excel. Yeah, because it's here to stay. It's here with us and it's not going anywhere. Okay, so Copilot, go and try even the basic version, use it and then see the results and so on. But for those who can purchase it, you can purchase and then you see, you follow the process of how you can integrate it with Excel. There are new functions that have been released so far, text before, text after. This one helps in grabbing text. Like for example, if you want to grab 10 characters from a given text, yeah, you can just say text before, and then you input the variables that is requesting there, and then and it is so quick. The VStack, you can change the shape of your data using the VStack and the vertical stack and the horizontal stack. Those are new. The choose rows and choose columns as well. Those are new. You can go and actually Google it, check and see this one. It could save you a lot. Maybe you've been doing something in a very in a very old way or a very inefficient way. So you might want to look at this one and see what it can do for you. The Power Query enhancements. Power Query has been enhanced for those who have used Power Query. It has been enhanced. Yeah, group operations. It has improved for better organization and consumption of data. Even on speed and so on and so forth. The experience is way better than before. Connected Power BI experience, yeah. creating pivot tables directly to Power BI datasets for seamless analysis. These ones you can connect Excel to Power BI currently. You can do your analysis and you can connect it to Power BI very easily. And then performance improvements, there is something I normally say, I think the person who improved this one, the person who brought some if, count if, average if, that person really saved Excel users a lot of time, because what some if can do, you could do the same using multiple stacked formulas for it to do. Right now, you have a single formula that can do it. The sum if, the count if, the average if. And then for multiple variables, there is sum ifs, there is count ifs, there is average ifs. If you have several variables that you are working with, like for example, you want to sum for multiple criteria. Yeah, for example, you want to say sum my sales if the store is Nakuru. Yeah, if the name of the sales agent is Timothy, if the, I don't know, you can add and add and add and add all characters, all the variables that you want. So it's going to combine all of them and then sum it for you based on the criteria that you've given, the multiple criteria that you've given. That one would not be achieved that easily in the past, because you would have to do a lot of index, match, combined VLOOKUP inside there, and so on and so forth, so that it brings, it returns that value. But right now, things are good using these three. Copying and pasting improvements. Remember, 365 before, you could copy something, go to Excel, right click somewhere, and then right click, and then there are options that come, and then you choose how to paste. But right now, when you just copy, yeah, you can just Control C and then Control V. When you just do Control V, there is something that pops up to show you the options, yeah, that you how you would like to paste your data. So it makes life a little bit easier. And then the autofill, yeah, the autofill. There is an autofill predictive feature that is in Excel. Like for example, if I have names of people which has first name, second name, and third name, yeah, then I want only to grab the first two names or the last two names. What I will do, I'll just type what I want the first time. When I type it the second time, Excel will automatically know what you want, and then it auto-populates for you for the entire sheet. So making work very easy. So those are the latest. There could be a lot of it, but I just wanted to highlight what is new. So what I wanted to say here is be on the watch every month. Excel releases a new feature almost every month. So be on the watch. You could be struggling. Just go to the Microsoft. There is a place in Microsoft Suite, yeah, Office. There is somewhere where they highlight the new releases. If you go to your Microsoft account, there's somewhere where you can get the new releases by Microsoft. Please use that one so that you can understand what is new. When you get what is new, go and try it so that you can save more time instead of remaining traditional for too long. All right, so I am going to use like 2 minutes, yeah, to just highlight how do we get there, yeah? How do we learn, okay? There are so many multiple online courses, even on YouTube, you can go and learn, okay? But this one could be challenging, especially for guys who are not structural, you get? There are people who can learn things alone, okay? But if you're not structural enough, and if you're not patient enough, you might not get enough out of this. And then again, the online ones are maybe structured by a person with different thinking. Maybe the person was thinking this way, then he came up with that tutorial and so on and so forth. So it's not structured. There's no order on those ones. The other one, you can do your practice. Do practice with real data. Yeah, stop just reading for functions. Reading functions can't help you. Yeah, you need to take the function and apply it on real data and then see. And then not only on real data, you need to apply it on real data and data that you understand. Okay, specifically data from your work, your office, and so the one your company, the ones that you understand, and the things that you normally do every day, so that you can relate. So practice with real data. Join Excel communities. I don't know whether people are in Excel communities here. There are so many Excel communities in LinkedIn, so many of it. So join communities, because people normally discuss very nice things there. So just join, and you will get experiences from other people. Maybe a problem that you're struggling with, somebody struggled with it 10 years ago and they found a solution, and the solution is right there. So just go there and become part of the community, and then practice. There is no shortcut with Excel. If you don't practice, you're not going to get it. However much you get, even 10 certifications in Excel, if you're not practicing, that is very useless. Excel works best with practice. Yeah, and that is why people who are using Excel every day, they are struggling with Excel every day, tend to learn more in Excel than a person who is not using it, but is very certified. And then lastly, get certified, because it's very frustrating if you have a lot of skills in something, but you don't have a way of proving it. Yeah, you can't show it and say, I have this skill, because somebody can ask you, okay, you have this skill, because I don't have time to test your skill. What shows that you have the skill? So you need to get certified. So you can join the predictive analytics process, and then you are trained and then guided. I would tell everyone here that a guided training always yields the best result, because you'll be dealing with real life scenarios. You'll be dealing with real trainers one-on-one. You ask them questions, you ask them their experience on something, and then life becomes easy. So I think without much, thank you very much. I hope this session has been very helpful. This one was not a practical session. Once you get to class, that is where now you will see all these ones at play. So thank you so much, guys. I want to give it back to Kevin for any questions. Thank you, Kevin. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Timothy. That was quite insightful. And maybe in the next 2 or 3 minutes, I just want to open the session for questions. So if you have any question, kindly just raise your hand there so that I can take them all at once.
You can just unmute and ask any question, follow up, or any comment that you'd want to make. Yeah, it's also good to see faces that I know. Yeah, some of them were my former colleagues. Some of them are my colleagues at work. So it feels good to see people here. Thank you. So I think there is a question there, Ken.
Okay, just a second. Let me just open up the chat. Okay. Shem is asking, is there a useful tutorial that one can learn as a beginner? Kindly, predictive analytics, you should get in touch with Ben Ongare. Requested for you to share the catalog. Can you do that now? If you're here. Then Anyachio Shem. There's an upcoming Excel training by Predictive Analytics soon. It will take you from the beginning to the advanced stages, step by step. Well committed trainers, so you should be able to do that as well. Tina, reach out to Shem as well. Yes, same to Tanya. Kindly, Tina, just reach out to them at the moment as we speak, or you can find ways of reaching out to them, but make sure you have reached them. Tanya, Shem, and Benson. Wait. Katal is requesting to be hooked up with the Excel community virtually. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do not have any question, I think that will bring us to the end of this session. We are exactly on time. Let me take the first 2 minutes to just extend and present my entire appreciation to Mr. Timothy. We want to really appreciate you for taking a time to take us through this session. We do understand that there are a lot of friends here and there, but we sacrifice your time to be with us here today, and we do not take that for granted. Shukrani sana. We really appreciate the insights you've given to us, and like I said before, how we came here at 1400 hours is not the same as we're now living at 1532 hours. Thank you very much. My fellow people here, if you are used to how can I say it? My team, Mbogia, what's this KM Speaker, you've been told to buy genuine things, tuache kutumia vitu za ukarabati. People talk about mess accounts, and I know as typical Kenyans, tunaanza kuficha hapo, tunaanza kushy try and be genuine. Thank you so much, Mr. Kering. To our audience today, I want to really appreciate you. Thank you so much for finding time to join us here today. Hopefully you have learned something new and you can get to understand. If you thought you are writing in your CV, you're well versed in advanced Excel, think again, maybe you are still at the basics, but I thank you all for joining in. To the predictive, great. Samsung, so I don't know how to reach you, but Tina, can you just inbox Samsung A032 here so that you can guide him on how he's going to do the registration. Now, also that being said, I was saying the team at Predictive Analytics, thank you so much for being with us today. Thank you for accepting to host us for this webinar. And to everyone else, tunasema asante. It's been a lovely day. You've been a lovely audience. And the insights, as always, very sumptuous. We can say we feed the flesh, we feed the mind, we feed everything else, and we grow wholesome. Continue upskilling, take away home, always be on the lookout. Learn, learn, learn. Don't rest on because knowledge is ever changing, technology is advancing, and new features are being released every day. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end. Thank you for your patience, and I wish you all a very lovely afternoon. To the guys that have queries here, especially when it comes to getting in touch, you can remain a little bit and commune with Tina. She's using the account of Analytics as the host. Can you just send her a DM, or Tina, you can find ways of doing them. But that's been all for today. It's been a pleasure hosting you. Thank you so much, and I'm really looking forward to seeing some of you in the next advanced Excel training. Have a lovely afternoon, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye. For those guys who are asking, I'll send it to Ken. The online, what do you call the communities that are available on LinkedIn, then you can join. Thank you so much, guys. Bye-bye.